So there's the coronavirus. It is a really weird time and there's like a lot of panic, which you could probably tell by going into your local supermarket. Even though like the world is going through this crisis at the moment, if you did want to read books, because I know that like a lot of people are saying, oh, now that you're indoors you can read a lot more books. I mean, at least that's what I've been seeing and hearing. But yeah, if you did want to read books and you just wanted to read something that will cheer you up or something that will just like distract you from the state of the world, then yeah, these are the books that I recommend. Hopefully they make you laugh, because they definitely made me laugh. My name is Mia, by the way. I don't think I introduced myself, but yes, let's get into this list of books that I think are funny slash books that will cheer you up a bit. So I have a lot of different categories, so hopefully there's something for everyone, but my first category is children's books, which, don't click away yet, children's books can be enjoyed by people of all ages. So first, I'm going to start with the obvious choice of Harry Potter. Harry Potter is really funny. Harry Potter makes me laugh out loud. I feel like everyone pretty much loves it and everyone pretty much enjoys reading it or rereading it, so yeah. And the same goes for my second suggestion, which is Percy Jackson. And I think everyone already knows like the whole Percy Jackson series as well, but it's really great. It's got like this humorous writing style. Like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson does have like its darker moments, but you know, it is a kids series. And I think overall it's just like a really fun and enjoyable read. Yeah, this is just making me reminisce about my childhood. Okay, going on to my third book. It's an Australian novel called My Life as an Alphabet by Barry Johnsberg. So I first read this in primary school and I really enjoyed it. So when I found this recently, I was like, oh my god, I have to read it again. And I did, and I read it, and it made me laugh out loud. And that happened like while I was in public places with other people around, so people looked at me like I was crazy, but I feel like that's a pretty good indicator of whether a book is funny. But not only that, it's like really uplifting, it's got a really great message. It's about the main character called Candace Fee, who is kind of trying to make everyone in her life happier. It's just a really great book. There is also one of my favourite childhood books of all time called Pig City, and I know that it's also published as 6th Grade Secrets, and this is by Louis Sakar. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's the same guy that wrote Holes, which is also a really great book, by the way, so you could read that as well. But Pig City is also really great. It's about these 6th grade students who start these societies and they kind of have rivals, and it's like really fun. Maybe it's not that funny, but it's definitely entertaining. Okay, so these are books that I would say are like more teenagery, which isn't a word. So first of all, I know that I talk about these books like every single one of my videos, but the Heartstopper graphic novel series, I've only read the first one. I think I've read part of the second one online, but there's like 3 volumes. They're really great. I mean, at least so far, parts that I have read. It's just like a graphic novel about these 2 boys. So one's called Charlie and the other one's called Nick. And it's basically about them falling in love and their relationship. It's done in a really like wholesome way. It's not really funny, I would say, but it is very sweet. And in that way it is uplifting. Another teenage book that I have, which is more on the comedy side, is called I Lost My Mobile at the Mall, which is another Australian book. The point is, this book is really great. I think I read it twice. I haven't read it in a while, but I definitely should. But it's basically what its title is. So it's basically about this girl. She loses her phone at the mall and it takes like ages for her to get it back. Since she doesn't have her phone, she's like forced to deal with life in a different way. And I mean, I know that sounds kind of dumb, but I just remember really enjoying it, and you know, it's just one of those uplifting books. It's like something light, something to distract you, something that's just fun and entertaining, but also has like a good message in there as well. Okay, so now we're going to move into the more adult books. So the first one is The Undomestic Goddess by Sophie Kinsella. You've probably heard of Sophie Kinsella. I've only read one of her books, but she's also really well known for writing the Confessions of a Shopaholic book series. When I was in year 10, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna read one of her books and see if I actually laugh. So I picked up The Undomestic Goddess, which is basically about this lawyer who lives in London. She's sick of her life. One day she makes this horrendous mistake, so she runs away. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but it's so funny. So she leaves and then she ends up like working as a maid for this random person in this random house. Like, I know it sounds so weird, but it really made me laugh a lot. So either check out that book or maybe check out some other Sophie Kinsella books. Her books are pretty light. I think some of them have like a little bit more romance in them, but The Undomestic Goddess, I don't think it really has a romance at all. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think it's just more of like just a funny book in general. The other book that I'm going to recommend is one that I recently read and I really loved. I gave it 5 stars, and it's called Cancer Ship's Aquarius. And basically, Okay, so this is like a male-male romance, and it is a bit more on the romance side of the book spectrum, so like it definitely does focus a lot on the romance, but this book was really great because it's so funny. I remember a while ago I read that comedy is ultimately just miscommunication, and I know that miscommunication has a bad name in books because it's like, oh, well, your problems could be solved if you just communicated, but sometimes it can be done well. In Cancer Ships Aquarius, there is miscommunication, but it's never frustrating, it's just humorous and it's so funny. It made me laugh out loud so much. I really loved that book. And also it had a really great romance as well. So it was both funny, but like uplifting because of the romance, and it was really sweet that way. So that was a good book. So yeah, those are my recommendations for books that don't really linger on the dark stuff. They definitely cheered me up. But yeah, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos about books, reading or writing, then consider subscribing to my channel. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!